up after the break. If you haven't updated your iPhone in a while, you might want to get on that. A hacker has found a way to take over your phone and even listen in on your conversations. But there's a patch for it. The Roundup is coming up next. It's being called one of the most sophisticated pieces of cyber espionage software ever seen, and it can jailbreak your iPhone in one step. That story kicks off the Roundup. Nicole Verkindt is the founder and president of OMX. This is a blockbuster of a story that in one text message that you get, I think emails do it as well, but they can then read your text messages, read your emails, track your calls, track your contacts, record sounds off like they could record me through my phone sitting there, collect passwords, trace the whereabouts. It is astounding what this little tiny hack can do.
To spy in your pocket, right? I mean,
yeah.
This means that software is actually can be used as a lethal weapon.
Yeah, it's like a weaponization for sure.
Right, it's absolutely incredible. I think the good news story here is that you've got a guy that's on a travel ban in the UAE that can't leave, and he's getting the text message, and where is he sending it to? Canada,
yeah.
Right? The Citizen Lab. So I'm on the board of the Monk School here, and the Citizen Lab is a part of that school, and I think they've been doing incredible stuff for a while now.
And you joke, but this classifies. You work in military procurement. This classifies as like cyber arms, cyber weaponry.
It absolutely does, and cyber warfare is really it's a big issue now that we're going to be seeing a lot more of. So
in a companies like yours, did your IT people go crazy yesterday and just send out blitzes of emails to everybody saying, update the software, get this fixed, patch the hole right now? Like, I was trying to imagine people, somebody could hack my phone and get, boring pictures of my children. There are a lot of people, cabinet ministers, people in your business. The amount of stuff you could get access to through something as simple as this is pretty astounding.
Yeah, it's constantly a cat and mouse game, right? Because it was impressive how quickly Apple patched it up. I thought that was really fast. But there's going to be something else, and it's going to be very soon, and then there's going to be something else that's to be patched up. So we're always really proactive about this type of stuff. If we ever go into really classified meetings, they take your phone at the door so that in case it can be turned into a microphone, it's not sitting on the table.
Well, and you go back to the San Bernardino shooter business where Apple refused to open up the phone to law enforcement. Turns out, somebody has a backdoor into these already.
Yeah, it's kind of like something you thought was only in the movies, right?
This is something straight out of the movie. Like this is, this is the kind of stuff that you see. And remember that movie Sneakers with everybody was in that movie, or Spy Game with Brad Pitt. It really is the stuff of that. And this is one small glimpse into a world and an industry that is, like, I remember I was doing stories about this before we went to the Sochi Olympics, because basically as soon as you turned your phone on in the Sochi airport, it was getting hacked by somebody. This is an entire industry unto itself. They're getting into your phones and then selling the information. And
it's a growing space. Everything's going web-based now with Internet of Things. Even the defense hardware that we're selling, the real technology is all in the software. So if you can break into the software now, right? An F-35 is all software, that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to see a lot more of this, and I think this industry itself is going to be growing, but it's just great that the Canadian brand is that we're the ones trying to help.
And we are, and kudos to the Citizen Lab at Monk School, as you say. This is a blockbuster of a story that they were able to sort of unearth and then get fixed, so good for them. We had in the headlines that we'll see less Kardashians. Canada's cracking down on paid social media endorsements. What they're saying is that they're going to crack down on bloggers and individuals who use social media in exchange for compensation. How on earth are they actually going to accomplish this?
I was wondering if Kardashians would be the example used.
Of course.
Because there was the famous one where one of the boyfriends had the protein powder or something,
That's right?
I remember that. He has to now disclose, paid for by, obviously.
Well, and there's a hashtag, I don't know.
Paid.
Hashtag ad or SP. I wouldn't have known that. Does anybody know that that's a disclosure?
Oh, that I wouldn't have known, no. But there is a tech startup here in Toronto that pitched Next Gen Dragon's Den called hashtag Paid that connects people, celebrities with brands to basically do these endorsements. The endorsements don't offend me that much, and I sort of wonder how far are we going to go, right? When James Bond is having a martini and maybe one of the vodka brands has paid for that product placement, is he going to stop and say, this was endorsed? How far are you going to go? What I don't like is the is the reviews. These fake people being paid to do fake Yelp reviews and that sort of thing. I think that makes things so unauthentic.
But, I mean, the Advertising Standards Council admits it can't find people, and if they refuse to stop, the agency can ask whoever is carrying them to block them, which isn't going to happen, is it?
Well, I think it could. I mean, it's false advertising if you're not actually disclosing. I think the U.S. is ahead of Canada on this too, right?
Way ahead. And the FTC has a basic rule that if consumers knew an endorser was compensated in any way, would that alter the view of the endorsement? And I think that's a pretty good sort of standard to judge who's being spied. Okay, next along, another for-profit college is not being shut down, but they're approaching that realm. ITT, it's called, ITT Technical Institute, generated $850 million in revenue, and about $580 million of that came from, guess where? Federal student loans. The possibility that these things are being turned into a racket is a real question that needs to be asked.
Yeah, it's just sad that students aren't able to achieve really any ROI from going to the school. So I think we're seeing more students trying to really analyze that, and a lot of universities I know in Canada are trying to emphasize the whole career element once they get out of the school. So they actually try to recruit businesses to come into the schools to show students, well, you can earn a higher income after you leave.
And that's what it's all about.
When these incomes go down, how do they pay back the loan?
For sure. And the late night advertising of get off the couch and go to school, you know who they're appealing to there. It's people that are like working at a 7-Eleven thinking, I can turn it around, I'll go do this. And then it turns out they've completely inflated the career outcomes of graduates.
Yeah. The interesting part here was it seems like the government's motivation to shut this down was really financial. They just were upset with how many students were defaulting, and they felt like taxpayers were the ones that were being
and quite clearly are. Not a ton of time left. Olympic athletes, we're talking about this ring that they were able to use for their Visa cards. Have you seen this? This to me, I frankly, I skipped right past it. I hadn't noticed it. I would love to have that, my ring being my credit card. That's easy. It's fun. I don't know. Is this the future?
You go for a run with no pockets, and you can buy a Gatorade halfway through. It's awesome. And it is totally the future. I think the space is becoming really crowded, though. I've seen a lot of startups in this space.
Really?
And Canada has a huge advantage here because we only have 5 banks, and so we've been able to get together better and have the taps available at more locations and rolled out in a lot more retail spaces. It's a lot harder to have a startup in this space in the U.S. or Latin America or the countries.
Yeah. It's amazing when you go to the States, even just touch and tap, whatever the technology is with your credit card, your bank card, we're way ahead of it.
Way ahead, yeah, which will make this space easier to launch into in Canada.
So what do you think? 6 months from now, we'll both be wearing our Wonder Twin rings and going to buy McDonald's or something?
Sure.
All right. Nicole Verkindt, always a pleasure.
Thanks, Peter.